In this process simulator solution, we are going to sort entities by assigning them an attribute value, then wait until a group of 10 entities have arrived and release them to process in either ascending or descending order based on the attribute value assigned to each entity. First thing we need to do is define a couple of attributes and a variable. So we'll right click here in our layout and go to variables and elements. You'll see I have a variable called vCount defined. This will keep track of how many entities have arrived. Now we'll click on the attributes. My first attribute I have defined is a priority. This is the attribute value we'll assign to entities to determine their priority to process in activity 1. My second attribute is called a wait time. We'll want to set it as a real number. We will use this attribute to force entities to wait to process for an amount of time based on the priority value that they have. Now I'll exit out of my model elements and I'll right click on the arrival line into activity 1 and select properties. In this example you can see I have only 10 entities arriving at one time, so there will only be 10 entities in this model. And now we'll go into the logic. As you can see, this is where we'll assign each entity a priority value according to this triangular distribution that I have set up. You will obviously want to use whatever distribution is best for your situation. Now we'll exit out of my logic builder, and since my properties window is still open, we'll just click on activity 1 to go to the activity 1 properties. And now we'll go to the logic, and I'm going to step you through all these different statements that I have here in my logic. This first statement is a display statement that just says what the priority value of the entity arriving into activity 1. Here in my third line we're going to increment our vCount variable. The fourth line we're going to wait until that increments up to 10. So we're going to collect those 10 entities before they go into processing. Line 7 is logic I want to use for sorting entities in ascending order. So an a priority value of 1 would be the highest priority and have the least wait time, and an a priority value of 10 would be the lowest priority and have the longest wait time. Line 10 I would want to use for sorting in descending order. I have it commented out right now so it won't execute. Then here in line 12 we have the entity waiting the amount of time we defined up in line 7. So an entity with a value of 10 will wait 1 second, and then an entity with a value of 5 will wait half of a second, and so on. Then here in line 14, as the entity goes on to process, it will display the priority value so we can make sure that they're processing in the order we wanted. Now we'll exit out of this logic builder and we'll exit out of our activity 1 properties, and then we'll go to simulate this model. And as you can see right away, our display statement comes up and tells us that the first entity coming into activity 1 has a priority level of 4. And if we continue to click through 10 times, and after we have clicked through 10 times, we'll get a display statement telling us that our first entity has gone on to processing and it has the highest priority level, which was a 3. And as we click through these, you'll see that the numbers will continue to go up, which means they are going down in priority level. And then you can choose to view your simulation results. And that concludes this process simulator solution. Have a good day and happy modeling.